Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Amateur Otaku, and welcome to our discussion on Fire Force Season 3, Episodes 1 through 6. We are going to be talking some spoilers, so if you're not caught up, you should get caught up before joining us in the comments for this conversation. But before we get started, I'd like to introduce Didge, one of the other panelists here today. How's it going, Didge?
It's going well. I obviously, like you said, we're talking Fire Force, and I've been enjoying the season. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. So,
Yeah, I think we should just jump right into it. I guess kind of general vibe check for the episodes you've seen so far, Didge.
like I said, so far, overall, I'm enjoying it. I think, like we were saying off air, some of the like episodes 3, 4 specific, like the first one, they come right back into it, full action, and you're kind of obviously you're hyped off of it being gone for so long. So like episode 1 and 2, I think you're still rosy eyed from it's like, man, it's back. And then
Mm-hmm.
3 and 4, which obviously it's going to be a long season, so it kind of makes sense. You start sort of getting into like the dregs of it all, and it's like those ones probably weren't as memorable for me. But then 5 and 6, I think they're sort of hitting their stride again. Obviously the animation continues to be beautiful. Those fight scenes were crazy. Like even how it was like the color obviously it was changing, and I know this is sort of just general vibe, so I won't go into too many specifics.
Mm-hmm.
But just sort of like how the way that they were utilizing the color and like the colors of the flames, um, it, they're top tier. Like it feels like care was taken for that. I'm excited to see where it's going to continue to go from here.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar. I guess, gonna be a little more brutally honest with my vibes. I
You
want
don't
to
think our
say
vibes were honest? Dang.
brutally honest, brutally honest. I think this season is off to a bit of a rocky start for me.
Okay.
Um, the beginning of the season, I think was cool. It's like, we're right back in step with everything, almost like we never left for many years. And then we start getting into Company 8 trying to rescue Captain Obi, and somehow things just kind of slow down, but
Mm,
not in like a nothing's being accomplished kind of way, but in like a Goku's powering up for several episodes got away from me.
I get that.
So,
I
uh,
fully. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'll go ahead. No, 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 go ahead.
I was gonna say to that comment, I fully believe you could tell someone watch episode 1, and then where episode 1 ends, and tell them, skip ahead to 4, maybe 5.
Mhm.
Like 5 obviously starts in the middle of a fight, so you might be a little confused, but you're not too much. It doesn't feel like too much you would have missed.
Yeah, yeah, that's really where my biggest gripe is right now. Is it feels like we're kind of stalling, but I'm not sure why we're stalling. Um, but these most recent two episodes that we just saw, five, I feel like half of it was a little stally, and the other half was like, all right, let's get things moving again. I was like, oh, okay, okay,
That's
like, I'm here for it.
interesting. Is it because you didn't care? Because obviously 5, we saw essentially 2 fights. Well, at least
Mhm.
so it's like you just didn't care about the one fight.
Um, the fight with Gold went on too long for me, so by the time it concluded, I'm like, they should
Okay,
be
so
done with
so
this
then
already.
it does
It's
make
not that I
sense.
didn't care, but it's just like I was ready to be past Gold.
Okay, so then yeah, that does make sense then. Because for me, I didn't think like it definitely was the lesser of the 2 fights. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I
And I
like
think it was
seeing
the
his.
extension that made it feel that way, but continue.
Well, I
Finish
was
it.
gonna say I liked his like the how he was transforming throughout it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, this is really interesting. But I can understand that it didn't hold me throughout the whole fight. It was just sort of like, oh, okay, cool, this is cool. All right, let's move on to the next. So I definitely understand that. I think as a pair, And obviously, I told you off air because I was 2 episodes behind. I watched them together. It probably felt different where if I would have watched, one last week than the other yesterday. Obviously, we're recording this on a Saturday.
Yeah, I do think that Dragon is pretty cool though, and I'm curious to see more from him, especially since in episode 6 he did like this huge fire beam
Yeah,
blast thing that would have evaporated everybody had it not been for Iris question mark.
I'm
So
pretty
um
sure.
so I'm curious to see like what they're cooking with that storyline there. But yeah, the like I would say back half of 2 through 4, I don't know why things were moving the way that they were moving. I guess I sort of dig into some specifics. One thing that's really just thrown me, and at this point I can't help but laugh, is Obi kind of being stuck by all these bugs. Like at first I'm like, oh man, like Obi's cooked, like that's it.
It's
and
so
then
weird.
and come to find out like the bugs can't penetrate his skin because like he's super jacked and it's just like flexing to keep the bugs out. I'm like, oh okay. I'm like, that's very anime, but we're watching anime, so cool. But so then my next thing is like, okay, so you're flexing to keep them like from piercing your skin. Why isn't the next step to be like, get off me? Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, why are we just consistently flexing? Yeah.
Yeah, like he's just gonna get tired at some point, and then the bugs are gonna be able to get in. But I'm
Well,
like, if you just knock them off, they
well,
wouldn't be able to get in.
that's the thing. It's like, and they acknowledge that. I think that's the part that kind of throws me for the loop. Is like you said, he's easily you can just wipe them off if they can't get there. But they're
hmm
acknowledging the fact that like, oh, he can't flex forever, and it's like, well, yeah. So if you know that he can't do that, I'm sure he knows he can't do that. Why are we
Yeah,
not trying to get rid of these bugs?
I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. That was kind of contributing to my like, what's going on here? Like, what are we doing? But I do know there's like with this most recent episode, episode 6, it finally feels like we're kind of back on track. Isn't the right terminology, but it feels like the story is moving again.
Yeah,
Um, like really, like we're making good progress. Like 5, I think was like the start of that, but 6, I really feel the momentum. So I'm hoping that continues.
yeah, I would agree with that. One thing I was really confused about in 6 is like I couldn't tell throughout that fight. Like, was Burns? What did he? Is he no longer believing? And he's just like, well, I'm too old for this. I was like, your motives are so confusing right now. And I just felt like we were talking in circles. Like, that was one thing that was kind of bothering me. But then he got taken out, so it was like, well, I don't care now. You're no longer a character I got to care about.
I mean, I don't know if he's dead, but it does feel like he won't be around for much longer. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like
Um,
his part in the story, like you said, I don't. He may not be
yeah.
dead. And sorry to
hmm
cut you off. I was gonna say I feel like his part of the story is over.
Yeah. No, yeah. I could see that. I'm it's hard for me to say because I was saying off air. I'm like, I kind of fell asleep when I was watching this the first time. Not because it was boring or anything. I was just like, I was sleepy and I just ate food.
Yeah,
Um, so I'll have to go back and rewatch like the beginning of the episode. But I did um kind of catch some of what he was saying with Shinra was saying, like, would you just basically be obedient to some force that you don't understand, I guess. And Burns was like, yeah, like that sounds pretty good to me.
it that's essentially what he was saying. Like he kept talking about how, and obviously the episode started with showing how devout he is. Like he would consistently pray. So he the way that he was going about it though was kind of like I I don't I like I believe so this is it for me. This is the end of my road. Like I'm not going to change. But at the same time, if you want to change the world, then you have to take me out. And it was like it felt like while he was doing this, like even as he was blocking his attacks, it felt like he was still trying to coach him to beat him so that way Shinra can go and essentially change the world. And it's like at that point, do you really still believe? Or is it just like I kind of want to give up here. And that's where I'm just like, I didn't. It was interesting, but at the same time, it was just like, what are you actually saying? Was this just another so we could have a training montage, or not even montage, but like, was this just supposed to be another training moment?
Mm. I do kind of feel like it was, but I almost feel like it was if the gods or if God wants you to win this fight, then that means for me, like, I'm clearly in the wrong. Like I'm with the wrong side. Like you would be with the right side. So in order to figure that out, we need to fight.
That's so roundabout, but it's like, you might be right. I was just like, I was fine with it until, like, when he went, what was it, level 4. I was
Hmm.
fine with him. Like, okay, he is stout in his belief, but then even still, like I said, that's when he's coaching Shinra to, like, you need to be stronger than this. If you can't stop me, how are you going to stop anybody else? Essentially, and then so it's like, okay, clearly, at that point I was like, okay, he's just trying to keep hyping Shinra up. But then he went another level. And I was like, so are you trying to kill him? Are you trying to stop him? Or are you still just trying to push him? What are we doing? And so then, like
Yeah.
I said, then he got stabbed by his doppelganger. And I was like, well, never mind. Your time in the story is done. I don't.
I mean, it might, but at the same time, like the fact that he has a doppelganger, I'm like, that's news to me. I'm like, are we going to explore
I don't.
that?
Well, and it sounds like everybody has a doppelganger. Is that what sort of what? Damn, I forgot her name. The leader of Company 5, right? Hibana. That's it.
Hibana, that's what it is.
Yeah, whenever she was researching, it sounds like she was kind of saying that, like, everyone has doppelgangers, and that the
Hmm.
doppelgangers are sort of the key to human combustion, because the doppelgangers are trying to take out their human counterparts. Obviously, they just sort of went through it. I feel like that's supposed to be a threat for later in the season.
Yeah, I don't remember this
It
conversation.
might it
I might have to go
was
back.
it 5 or 6? Crap. Oh,
It might have been 5.
it might have been. But
Dang.
she was like, I don't know. It was just on her face, so, like, I don't know if she was in a lab or whatever, but she was definitely researching and,
Yeah,
like,
I like
theorizing
vaguely
stuff.
remember her being in a lab. I don't remember what was discussed. I believe you though.
You're right, though. He could very much still be in the story. Like, it was, now we have to evolve the, like, unravel this mystery of the doppelganger. So, maybe he's part of it. I don't
Hmm.
know.
What if you can like fuse with your doppelganger or something?
Oh
What
God.
happens then?
I would say, I don't know if you would go that route, but somebody turned into a dragon, so it's like,
Yeah. See, that could maybe be a part of it. Yeah, maybe it was episode 5 because Dragon was saying or there was like an explanation around Dragon where they were saying that he's using like the infernal material, I guess, to do this. Or I forget how they explained it, but it's like something related to infernals. And like, well,
mm-hmm.
how is he able to do that? I'm like, that doesn't how I don't
It,
know.
I don't. I swear, the white clad got all, like, the super powerful people. Every time they show a new white clad person, he's like, he or she is just super powerful, and it's like, bro, who do
Mhm.
y'all got? How are y'all? I'm assuming they lose at the end just because like maybe she's. You haven't
Um,
read the manga, right?
no, I have not read the
Okay,
manga.
good. So I'm like, it would suck if you read the manga. We're spouting all this, and you know what's gonna happen.
No,
Like,
no.
yeah. I mean, it would tie into the doppelganger thing. Then again,
That's true. That's interesting because then it's like I don't think the evangelist. Does that mean? The evangelist is like the equivalent of an infernal and not human?
I wonder. I don't like. I wonder if that's the culmination of their powers. Like that's the non-humanity. Like that's the inhuman part of inside all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I don't know. Like that is one thing I think Fire Force has struggled with from the jump. Their lore is very just lore dump heavy, but
Yeah.
they dump it and then it just sort of goes away. And it's like we need to understand some of this stuff. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
they don't do a great job at that.
Oh, I thought of our conversation that we had last time because I think it was like episode 1 or 2 where they mentioned Iris's like I don't and the orphanage where her and Hibana grew up
Oh
and
yeah,
how
yeah.
all those people turn into infernals. I remember last time I was like asking like why did they do that to those people and like what was the purpose? And then someone mentioned like yeah, we don't know why they did that. Like we have to kind of figure that out. And maybe that's where Hibana was starting to talk about like the doppelgangers and stuff because she was looking into things.
Maybe
Um but yeah, I'm like, well, we'll finally get an explanation for that because it felt like they could explain it or they could just never be mentioned again. So I'm
that's
glad
the
we're going back.
thing. I feel like even if we're going back, like that might have been that might have been it. Like nah, we don't know, and then it's just well,
Ugh.
that's all you got for the rest of the time.
I feel like they got to be going back to something. I don't know. Like at least I hope so. Um, let's see what else is there to talk about with this season. Joker's a lot more present in this season. The most present he's been in the entire series. Well, at least the eighth in the
Mm-hmm.
fire force, so that way we get to see a little bit more of him, get to understand. I guess we already really know his motives, which is really just like understanding the truth of all this and
Mm-hmm.
why kind of everything has been working the way that it's been working when it comes to like the Church of Soul. I think it's interesting to see how he works with other people and kind of explaining, even when they first got together, and I think it was like episode 2, like, listen, I'm an anti-hero. I'm trying to teach you guys how to be outlaws, so you guys have to listen to me. Sometimes that means we're going to do things that may or may not be legal, but
It,
it's all for a good cause at the end of the
yeah,
day.
it's he really hammers that home, and I think one thing that reminded me that we really didn't talk about because I think we talked about it off air, so that just why I thought maybe we had talked about it in general, like on a stream. We
Mhm,
really went back to basically status quo. Like episode 1 really and episode 2 with like them being declared outlaws is like
mhm.
the eighth is against everyone. Like obviously there are people who are working behind the scenes. Like I guess that's the growth of it, but it really was like, oh, okay, where we started in season 1, we're back there again.
Yeah, they can't be like openly connected to the other Fire Force teams. I forget what they're called. They're like
Companies.
company, yeah, the other Fire Force companies. Um I think they're like you were saying, there's still some allegiance with certain people, but I think they're especially for I think it's the first company that's connected to the Holy Soul Church. I
Yeah,
think
that's the
they've
one
really
with
like
Leonard Burns, right?
yeah,
That's his company. Yeah, then they are for sure. Like they bought in.
yeah. I think Oh my goodness. Now I'm trying to remember everybody's names. But you know the guy with the blue hair that uses like the ice powers?
Oh, Kareem, yeah, he's
Yes,
he's
Kareem. I
he's
don't
one
think
of the
he's
behind the scenes, I think. Yeah.
yeah, I don't think he's fully on board, but I also feel like he's not actively fighting either. It's just like I think he'll have his moment where like the eighth will need him and he'll step up. But for now, I feel like he's kind of fallen in line for the most part. Not necessarily like
Yeah.
working with the evangelist, but continuing to do things business as normal, and things are clearly not normal.
Yeah, him and the guy who has the one hand or one arm. I can't
uh,
remember his name. It's
his name is Huo.
okay.
Huo. Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, I don't think he fighting either. I haven't seen him do anything since that was
No.
early season one. Like he's just there for he's like support now.
Yeah, like I don't even think he's shown any kind of like discontent with what's going on. He's just kind of hanging out, which I guess
Hmm.
I get it. You know, he's already lost an arm trying to fight people,
That's
so it's like,
probably semi-retirement.
yep. I'm like maybe I would do the same thing.
I would for sure do the same thing. I lost an arm in the fight. Y'all got the rest. I'm here for support still though.
hmm So it was those four that we know of from Company One, and then Rekka died. So interesting. But
Um,
we see at the end of episode 6, oh my god, literally, why is everybody's names slipping my mind right now?
which character?
The guy that runs what is it, like the Seventh Company, I think.
Oh,
Benimaru.
but yeah,
Yeah, Benimaru.
yeah, with the what did he call himself? Moon,
It was like Moonlight.
maybe. Yeah,
Let me see, Fire Force, Moonlight Mask.
Moonlight Mask.
Yeah.
That was interesting. It's I was kind of I guess I was kind of shocked that he was in a mask because it's like Seven, they never was really fully bought into everything. They were already looked as kind of like outcasts, so I thought that they would have, at least if my assumption is correct, and he's doing it sort of to like hide his face, which I assume. Obviously,
Mm.
it's like y'all, you could have just did that in person. I don't know if they would have been like, oh my god, Seventh Company is working with the Eighth. It's like I feel like they felt like the Seventh Company were kind of quasi outcasts from the beginning.
Yeah, I did not think about that until now. Like maybe he was doing it to hide his face. I kind of don't feel like he was hiding his face, but I couldn't tell you why he was wearing the mask either. So I don't know. Maybe, maybe so. Um, I I don't know. It kind of seems like he might be on some like I want to be a hero, kind of like Shinra, but he's like all heroes have a mask kind of thing.
Oh,
I don't know.
he's just going full on superhero. Okay.
Maybe I don't know. But it might be because he doesn't want people to see his face. But in that case, you probably shouldn't be wearing your uniform either.
I sure, but I guess those are basic enough robes that like, are you going to immediately be like, that's Benny Maru's robes?
No, but it's like, oh, that's somebody from Company 7, so it's already narrowed down.
Okay, that's fair.
That's like, where were you on the night of the Moonlight Mask attack? So I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out next episode. The preview showed looked like they were getting into it. And they
Yeah,
already said it was Biddy Morrow, so it was like there's no mystery.
yeah, they already knew. So it's
Okay.
like, if he was trying to hide his face, he didn't do a well enough job. You are right. Maybe they did see the robes and go, oh, okay, well, there's Benny Maru. Like,
Yeah, maybe so. That would be funny. Um yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there any other characters or moments you want to mention? I feel like I touched all the things I want to talk about.
no, I think that's the gist of it. Like, I'm curious. I want to know how they're going to wrap up Obi's arc because I feel like now that we got to where we are and the fact that like he's been holding off the bugs for essentially 2 episodes now, right?
Yeah.
Like, um, I'm assuming that means he he comes out of this situation?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it could be that. Could be last second. He's like, oh, I can relax. And there was a bug that he missed and he gets stung. So,
I you could be right. I feel like now there is absolutely nothing stopping somebody else from hitting it off, right? Like the big shot from Dragon was blocked. I'm assuming Benny Mars is going to turn the tide in like in that fight,
mm,
and Burns is gone, dragged to the nether. So clearly, obviously Shinra probably won't, but Joker could very much now take care of
mm-hmm.
the bugs, and the white clad that was there beside him, I can't remember their name, but they were already shook enough that he was
Yeah,
flexing and keeping the bugs off. So I don't think that he's going to be a threat, or she. Like
no,
I said, they were
yeah.
mad, so I have no idea what it is
Mhm.
underneath. Um, so it feels like that's resolved, but
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I don't know. I feel like any ideas I had about like where the season could go before it started, now I have no idea. Like, I
no,
have no idea what we're going to be up to. Um, I'm curious to see if they confirm that Iris is the new pillar, or could it be some other person? I feel like you're right that it's probably Iris.
that's the, I have no other thought who it could be. Just based off of, like you said, the evangelist kind of like the evangelist looking like her,
Hmm.
as well as Lick's face. He like I feel like we were supposed to know, like hit the how shocked he was looking
Yeah,
at her.
yeah.
Like that was supposed to let you know, just in case case the audience didn't realize that it was her. I feel like it was evident, but like that was supposed to be like, yo, if you didn't pay attention, it was her, not
Mhm.
So who knows? All in all, though, I guess a decent first half of the season.
Yeah. Do you know? Is it supposed to be like 24 episodes or something this season?
So if I remember correctly, it's going to be 12 and 12. So like
Okay.
like first half of the season, first half of the season we already seen, six more
Yeah.
episodes, then I think it comes back in January.
January. Oh
Let me
my
double
God.
check. Let me double check. Yep,
January.
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 So it says it'll be split into two cores, and with the first core having premiered April 5th, and the second core scheduled for January 2026.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, so 12 and 12. We got what till June, mid June, maybe late June.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Yeah, you figure. So if today's the 10th,
Hmm.
there's 3 more weeks here. Yeah, so about towards the end of June, 3 more weeks in this month, 3 more weeks, 3 weeks in June.
That's
So
crazy. Dang.
then half a year. I mean, I'll take 6 months wait versus the wait that we just got off of.
Yeah, I guess. I guess. It's just like, let's just do 24.
No,
Let's
I
just
hear
do
you.
it
I hear
all.
you.
But yeah, like that's better than waiting many, many, many years. So I'll take it.
But
But cool.
yeah, I don't think I have anything else. Like I said, it was I I think the more that we talked about it, the more I do agree with you. It's been kind of rocky. Um, just because, like I said, it was like a third of it was excitement. You're just happy that it's
Hmm.
back, and
Hmm.
then you just sort of fall into a lull, and then they bring you back out. So I feel like next episode's gonna kind of make or break where this first core is gonna go. It's like, are we
Mm,
gonna keep foot on the gas, pedal to the metal, or what's going to happen? Because obviously, it has to end with a bang with the second core,
yeah,
because that's the end of the series.
yeah. I do feel like we've got some good momentum going, so I think it's
Mm-hmm.
going to continue into seven. So I think we're like halfway through the first core. I think the second half should hopefully be have some better pacing and also help continue to develop the story. So
Yeah, because you were saying that you looked on the Reddit and that people who had read the manga said it was being mismanaged or mispaced.
yeah, I had to like halfway read, halfway be like, "Ooh,
Fair, fair, fair,
I can't look
fair.
at it." But people were saying that Shinra's fight with Burns was supposed to happen pretty much alongside like everything else that all the other battles that we've seen happen. Um, which I can understand why the animation team decided not to do that because that would have felt like a lot. I feel like in a manga you could probably manage it, but in an animation it might feel like a lot just to go from like one battle to the next all the time.
Yeah. I mean, even look at what happened with
Unfortunately,
the two. We
yeah,
were just talking about how the two was, one battle felt like it was so much better than the other. So imagine
yeah,
having to go through like three or four. Ugh.
yeah. So I'm curious to see what people will say about this fight with Burns because I feel like it was like we've waited at least like two two episodes to see what was going to happen with this fight. Hopefully, people like the way it turned out. I feel like it was pretty cool. So
I enjoyed it.
yeah,
The transformation was cool. His level 5 transformation to like
yeah,
actually being a lion, that was really
hmm
cool.
that was neat. I was definitely was it like an armor that he had on that
I,
broke
I assumed it
or
was just like, I guess essentially yes. Like I assumed it was just like his output of flame was like
Mhm.
also an armor at this point. Like sort of
Yeah.
how Arthur had the cloak of plasma.
Oh yeah.
I
Mhm.
guess it was supposed to be like a next level of that is my assumption. But it would have been cool, I guess, to also see him do something with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm like halfway. I was like, was that actually armor or was that just like aura? You know,
Mm,
or it's like Demon Slayer. Like in the manga, they don't have all the different like
that's what I was just
elements
gonna
going
say. Like the
alongside.
Demon Slayer route.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good question. We'll have to ask a manga reader. If you're
Yeah.
in the comments and you're a manga reader, let us know. Was it actual flame armor in the manga, or was that just pure anime aura?
Yeah. Also, let us know any thoughts or theories you might have for the, well, not specifically manga readers, don't spoil anything, but just thoughts or theories you might have for, I guess, the rest of the core that we have in front of us. I do feel like Iris is a pretty good bet to be the pillar. I was also like, when I first saw that, I initially was just like, oh, okay, like Iris does have some kind of power, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't think that she was the pillar. I guess we'll have to see if she reacts to like has any Adola burst or anything. Because we only saw Shinra have an Adola burst in this episode, so I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that works out. But yeah, let us know any thoughts or theories. Oh wait, actually, before we close, I do have to say I really what's the cat girl's name?
Oh, Tamaki.
I had hope for Tamaki, and then the
Oh,
first 2 3 episodes, they're like, "Do not have hope. Do not."
oh.
She is, I think, doing better with fighting, but her quirk that she has is it's still bad. It's still bad.
Funny enough, it is still bad. Don't get me wrong. I feel like it's slightly toned. Maybe because it's been jumping around to other stuff. It
Yeah,
feels like it's not as there as it was the first two seasons.
I don't agree with that.
Okay,
I don't
okay.
agree with that. I do feel like it's not as I guess focused on for the shock value because at this point who's going to be shocked if you've been watching
Maybe
the
and maybe
show.
that's what it is. Like there's not such a focus on it like when it happens as much
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah, I don't know. I
No,
just have to
whichever
like,
she's on screen though, you're for sure. It's for sure like any moment where she's on screen more than like any type of action scene. I guess I should say
yeah, it doesn't even
it's
have to be
going to happen.
action. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't even have to be, it just be anything.
Well, I mean, because like I wanted to differentiate like sort of action because like when she was when they were sort of hyping up Captain Obi for his
Mhm.
muscles and stuff, obviously it wasn't happening then. But like anything
Yeah,
where she's actually doing something, I mean,
yeah,
then
yeah,
yes. But I feel like
yeah.
she hasn't been doing as much this season. Maybe
I feel
that's what it
like
is.
I don't know. I feel like whenever we see her, I'm just like disappointed. Like if there's a focus on her, it's she's like halfway butt
That's
naked. So
fair. That's
um,
fair.
at this point, I just have to accept that, like, that's her character. It's not going to be different, and
No.
you can't change her. That's just who she is. You can't change her. So yeah.
I really just need to get my followers up. So follow me there. Where right now we're pretty much streaming Claire Obscure Expedition 33. We're gonna sprinkle some Black Myth Wukong in there. Don't listen to what Jamie's saying. Don't look at her face and see her skepticism, because it will be there. And follow me on YouTube. If you miss any of the live streams, they do go up on YouTube. There are definitely some replays of some of the games that I've already played, like Hi-Fi Rush, Jamie and I's, whatever you want to call it, our trek through Split
Our
Fiction,
playthrough first with fiction.
our trek through Split Fiction.
Hey, why you say it like that?
With the hilarious thumbnail, you should look at it. I'm proud of that thumbnail. It's a very funny one. Um, and yeah, just obviously Expedition 33, and then once we start the journey in Black Myth, that'll also be up there.
All right. Cool. We'll look forward to that. I will say Didge has been really helpful for like Expedition 33 if y'all are looking for like the pictos and the mimes and other items. Didge has helped me find some things that I might have looked over. So I appreciate it. And you guys can find me at Swiper_Prime on Twitch and YouTube. We've been playing through Okami. I just got through I don't even know how to call it. I guess the first act of Okami. And then there's seems like there's something else brewing. I actually haven't recorded Okami today, so I'm might record more after this. I don't know. I'm supposed to be streaming today too, so we'll
I
see.
know I'm supposed to stream today too. I'm
Um,
debating which game to play.
Sorry.
I am. Dang.
But I'm going to be streaming Expedition 33 today. That's gonna be, well, as of recording, I'll be streaming Expedition 33. So I'm excited to jump back into it. It's definitely like people have been talking about game of the year, and I see it. I'm definitely, I could totally see it winning game of the year.
It's for
I'm
sure my early pick.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really, really good. So if you guys have not picked that up and tried it, please do. It's also on Game Pass for those that have that service. But yeah, until next time, peeps, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so that way you get notifications on when the next video or stream or short comes out. And until then, keep reading manga and watching anime. Peace.